If your price point doesn't allow you to build the lifestyle that you desire, then you'll also not get the client results that you deserve.
So today is all about pricing your coaching program.
Yeah, and it's a really important topic because I can see so many internal dialogues with so many of our clients that have gone through like, where should I be? What should I charge? And let's break it up a little bit so that we can get a deeper understanding of it. So what are a few of the common struggles?
Well, I think depending again where you are in your business, but if you're just starting up, you're probably undervaluing your service or like the value of what it is. So I think it becomes a mix of not believing what you actually do and have is that valuable for your audience, and combined with the fear of me not being able to provide, me not being good enough. I can't charge too much because people won't buy. If I charge too much, I won't get clients.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of internal struggles around pricing.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we can see is that it ties down to fear, and it ties down to self-doubt, and it ties down to imposter syndrome, and it ties down to all different rational arguments that we can have why I can't charge more. But that is also the biggest breakthrough that a coach will experience when they go from being a low ticket coach into a high ticket coach.
I think one rule there is everything only has the value of which your audience will pay you, meaning how valuable do they see it? Like how big is the problem you solve? And then there's another point. What number can you say? What do you believe it's worth and what do you say? A funny exercise we always do when we're running challenges where I see something really clicks with the people when we speak about sales and putting in the price is if you take yourself out of the equation, because it becomes about me for a lot of them, like I won't be worth that amount of money. If you take yourself out of the equation and only look at if that audience, if your ideal avatar could buy the promise you're giving them if in a package on a shelf in the supermarket, what would they be willing to pay if they knew with 100% certainty that they would get this promise or have this problem solved? What would they pay? And every single time participants will say, well, oh my God, it's priceless. And then it comes to, so what will you sell it for? Then I don't know. And then you come in your way, right?
Yeah, and then they downsell themselves into a price point where they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And the problem with comfortability is that it doesn't allow growth.
No.
So when we are pricing our program, we want to make sure that we are looking at the significance of the outcome, as you say.
Yeah.
Very important. And we do that by dissociating ourselves from the equation, taking ourselves out of it, and then looking what's the value of the outcome.
Yeah.
Once we've done that, we can take the next step and also realize that a person who invests 500 euros and a person who invests 5,000 euros, not saying that 500 euros is wrong and not saying that 5,000 euros is right either, but let's just use it as an example. If the same person invests 500 euros and then 5,000 euros, that person is 10 times more invested in a 5K program than he is in a 500 euro program. And that is the foundation of what we need to acknowledge. If you don't have a price point that can build your lifestyle that you desire, you're also not going to get the client results that you deserve because the clients won't be invested enough to do the hard work that's necessary in order to get the outcome. And if there is a business coach that sells a 6-figure outcome for businesses and he charges like 2K or 3K, I call bullshit right away because it isn't theoretical. It's work that needs to be done. So if we go to another niche where someone is working through trauma or building on their relationship, it's the same thing. In order to pay attention to what the coach says, you need to have an incentive to do so. And when it gets hard with the coach, we need the price point to be regulating that so that it's still like we've invested a lot in this. Let's really work this out. And the best programs that I've ever been in have been the programs where I've almost couldn't afford it. So I've paid for expensive, real high ticket programs when I was 30,000 euros in debt. And I still understood that I need to invest in myself. And then I did invest another 25,000 euros in order to get the help that I needed. So when we are putting ourselves in a place where we are forcing ourselves as individuals to stretch, we are investing with more effort and more essence. The more you can pick yourself or take yourself out of the equation, the easier it is to realize what does the client need. Because when it comes to the price point, it should absolutely build the lifestyle that you desire, but it's much more important for the client.
I believe we have a lot of listeners right now thinking, yeah, but it's not just about making money for me. I really want to help as many as possible. It's important for me that I'm helping more people. And in that implicit, it says the price point needs to be at a place where I can help more people, where more people can afford my product. What are your thoughts about that?
I say that it's, again, not about them. Because here's what I can say. I am not invested in money. I do not do this for money. I'm the first one who gets out of it when we're speaking too much about money when we are planning our business. I am not in this for the money. Part of that is because I have a core belief that I will always have the money I need in order to take care of the stuff that I have to. And that's been like that for me, like since I was a kid. I always have what I need in order to take care of stuff. But money in itself doesn't motivate me at all. So I get it. The problem is you're not trying to serve your needs right now. You're trying to serve your business's need. And the only thing that gives nutrients and nourishment to your business is money. Because if we take money out of the equation of your business, guess what? You don't need a business anymore. Because the only function of a business is to have something like a black hole in the universe where money can go into. And once it comes into it, it grows and then you can do stuff with it. If we take that away, you can do it for free, pro bono. You don't need a business. You don't need to declare anything. You just help people. But guess what? You're going to have a problem on the back end of that because all of a sudden you're going to have to pay your bills.
Yeah.
So it's a combination, but we need to understand that our business needs funds. And one of the things that we have taught all of our clients is to make sure that you have a price point that also allows you to save money while building it up. Because if you're listening to this and you have kids, you can see your business as your kid. Your kid needs food, it needs nutrients and nourishment, and it needs proper attention. And a really good thing would be if you could save up for your kid so that they have something for the future. And business isn't a straight line. Businesses goes up and down, left and right, depending on both you and your clients and the market and the world situation.
We have seasons and there will be winter at some point.
And I would say that for a big part of the world, we've had winter for a while. I mean, the war in Ukraine, the newly presidential election in the US, we don't know what will happen with it. There are circumstances in this world that affects our purchasing power. And I'm not saying pro or against anything in regards to the presidential election, but what I will say is that I predict that it will have changes to how we treat stuff, depending on how that's done.
So another thing here, because the question that will always happen as well, when people get into fear, if people are not making money, if they are not like getting enough clients, is I need to sell it cheaper because people can't afford, especially if they've had a couple of sales calls and people said, yeah, it's really good, I really want it, but I don't have the money. And we have those objections coming again and again and again. I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, but I can sell to more people if it's just cheaper.
Yeah, but if your price is 2,000 euros and you think like that, then I would say that you're 100% wrong. Because everything indicates that you're wrong.
Yeah.
So sure, if you're selling something for 5K, maybe you are 20 or 30% above your sweet spot or the spot where your price is perfect. But if your price point is already low enough, and I'm saying like 2K, 2.5, maybe even 3,000, the money objection is not about your program being too expensive. It's all about the sense of urgency that we can create. And if you can't create that with a program for 2,500, you can't create it for 1,000 or 800 either.
No.
And the problem that comes when you lower your price, and I'm not trying to chop anyone's head off. I'm not trying to make anyone wrong in any way. The only thing that I'm saying is that the problem doesn't disappear because we changed the circumstances.
No, and unfortunately, we've seen this with a lot of past clients that got stuck in that mindset and they just kept lowering the price until they couldn't live off their business anymore.
Yeah,
and they can get more clients due to that.
Yeah.
So it's a mindset thing to work on rather than the other thing. Now, you said an interesting thing. You said your sweet spot. What is the sweet spot? Can price be too high? Because when I listen to you right now, I'm getting into, okay, so I just need to always raise my price. Is that what needs to happen? What is the sweet spot? When do I know it's a good price?
So personally, I think mathematically it's a hard question, because yes, there is a sweet spot. But the problem is that it's tied to so many different variables, so that it's not just the market that sets the sweet spot. And it's not just you as a coach that sets the sweet spot, or your capabilities or your skills or the value of your program or your avatar. So there are a lot of different circumstances. So mathematically it's hard to navigate.
It takes time.
Yeah, so it is a process getting to that point where we feel that we have a good price point. But the easiest way, instead of trying to do it mathematically, it's called wallet psychology. And wallet psychology is where within their finances will they look in order to finance a purchase. And there are different steps to that ladder. So if it's low enough, they're going to look into their income stream. So what's coming in every month? If you're trying to finance something for 50 euros, then you're going to look, do I have 50 euros left after I've gotten my income and then I pay my expenses? Is there 50 euros left for me to invest in this? Okay, cool. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. If we go to the next step, then it's not looking in the monthly flow of your finances anymore, but looking into your savings. And when it comes to looking into your savings, maybe there are some stocks or whatever. And then when we come to another level, let's say buying a car, then sure, we can look at leasing deals that allows us to kind of break it down into a monthly kind of thing. But if you're going to cash a car, then it's rather, what do I need to sell? What do I have? What assets do I have that I can liquidate and pay for this thing that I want to buy? So the wallet psychology is very, very interesting, because what we can see is that if you're trying to sell something for 1,000 euros and you're trying to sell something for 2,500 euros, they're going to look in the same place in their finances. And if they can figure out, and if they can find 1,000 euros, likelihood of them being able to find 2,500 or maybe 2,000 euros, it's so close. So when people are at that level, looking at spending that kind of money, they're already open to spending more. And when they spend more, they are going to get better results, because they are going to be more invested. You are going to get a better income, and it will allow you to put some funds on for future expenses, so you can save in your business. It's going to allow you to pay yourself a salary faster, and it's going to allow you to take care of all the stuff that goes on in your life. So when we backtrack it and comes to, yeah, but I'm not motivated about money, I am not motivated about money either. It doesn't matter. It's not the conversation that we're having. We're having a conversation about responsibility and creating a real impact. And it takes an adult mind, and not like, I don't like that. I don't care if you like it or not. What you need to find is that you need to find why. Because we want to create a lasting impact. You want to help people do something that is substantial and has a big impact on them. Then help them do that while taking care of your business, so that you can do it with more people and more people and more people. And for me, that's what it's all about.
What I understand that you're actually saying is, maybe the pricing is not the problem. It's you not feeling confident in the price. But even more, maybe it's about your offer, the way you present your offer. Maybe it's about how you make it valuable for the person. So you not being able to sell at a specific price point is not necessarily because of the price point. It might be because of your offer. It might be because of how you sell that. Your skill sets around selling is just not good enough, or your marketing is not good enough. So we cannot just go to the place of believing that every time we can't sell it, it's because of the price point. I just want to add that to it. Now, if I know I have a higher value, and I do believe people could pay for that, and I want to charge more, but I don't feel confident saying that. So whenever I'm on a sales call, I start stuttering, or I can't really say that number, because I believe myself it's a big number. Because saying a price is also often about, what do I feel confident saying? If I believe that's a huge amount, it's really hard to say it. But if I believe it's such a low price for the value you get, it's going to be easy to say. So what is the step by step to get to the point where you can actually say the price, you know it's the value, and sell at that price?
So important and really, really good. So no matter if it's your entry program or your first thing, a 3-month program, or if it's a 12-month academy or mastermind or something that is more of a high ticket offer, grow into your prices. You need to know that that is what you're doing. You are growing into the right price point. And the first step of growing into it is setting the price point. What if I'm completely dissociated and just look at it, I see that the value is there, the €2,500 point or the €15,000 point, then start with saying that. Like, train your being into saying that price, and then give a discount and reduce the price. Let the person you speak to know that what I would like to do for you is this.
Yeah.
And how we do that is very, very simple, because you can be very transparent doing that. And it could literally look like this. Hey, here's my thing. I've just launched an academy, and the price point is really €20,000. But because I am just starting this out, and because I really like you as a client, I would love to work with you. I would like to give you a special offer because I'm starting out, because I'm actually looking for clients right now. So instead of €20,000, I would actually like to offer you the same program for €12,000. Does that make sense? Or is that something that sounds good for you? And then you facilitate the conversation from there. And it's, you can be that transparent and say that I want you as a client, and I want to make whatever I can, make it as easy as possible for you. But when we give that reduced price, it also gives us a very good opening to create sense of urgency. I can only give you this price now.
Nice.
If you pass on it, I can't promise you that I'll give it to you tomorrow.
And then on the next call, it might be 12.5 or 13 or 13.5. So you just roll into it. And as you said before, you can always add 10% and no one will ever say anything about it. Not even your own brain will notice 10%.
And then you grow as fast as you can. So you don't force it, because there might be that you'll find a tipping point where, like, I can't go above €1,500. Then stay on €1,500 until you can go to €1,600 or €1,700 then. Because you do not need to force a basketball through a garden hose. No. The only thing you need to do is get to that point, knowing what's important, because that is what makes the difference. That you make an exception, or you are giving yourself the space that you need to grow into that place, that isn't a problem. You have the space, but you need to know where you're going towards. And I would fail any coach if I said that they shouldn't have a fair price point. And when I say a fair price point, low ticket, €2,000. If you're not at that point, you can ask yourself, oh, what's currently missing in order for me to make sure that this works? And it could be that I have a 12-week program, 3 months, and it's a weekly thing. We're going to meet and blah, blah, blah. And I can't price that. Okay, cool. So what do you need to add? It's not like I need to build out the program and make it 24 weeks. It's what, in terms of structure and accountability, can I add? And it can literally be on the back end of the 12 weeks.
So making your offer better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Continue working that. And if you raise your price and you struggle to sell at that price point, should take it one step back.
Now, what I would like to say is that give yourself the opportunity to grow into the price point that allows you to build a business that can build your lifestyle or provide for your lifestyle, as well as a good opportunity for your clients to get really great results in your program. And the last thing that I would like to say is, if you aren't already subscribing to this podcast, make sure that you do. Make sure that you share it with someone that you believe would get value from listening to this episode. And follow us on social media. If you are curious about a topic that you would like to hear us speak about, then send it to us so that we know what you would like to hear more of. And I'll promise you that we'll take it into advisement and see what we can create out of it.
And I actually do believe we have a free training inside our Facebook group about pricing. So join our free Facebook group. You'll find the link below and go into the group and search pricing, because I think we even have a little bit longer training on how to set your price.
Yeah, super good. And how do they find the free Facebook group?
There's a link below.
Nice. Click it. Love it, guys.
See you next time.
See you.